Josh said Cass were out-muscled and the two goal line dropouts going out on the full didn't help. The Challenge Cup is definitely where Hull step their game up, and it suits them because dirty, scrapey games is what knockout rugby league is all about. It's not how it looks, but if you win. If you didn't love the game, you wouldn't have turned over. You would have turned over. Sorry, Sky really need to think about changing the feed of the referee. I hear him more than the commentary. That really was a game riddled with errors, making it more painful to listen to. I don't necessarily notice the referees being overly audible. Like, you can hear them, but not like overly audible on the normal Super League games. Apart from the Catalans game, it normally is the overseas games where you get in the overseas feed, but without the overseas commentary on, where I notice them more. But yeah, maybe some of these games had it a bit loud too.
Turn it down in the mix a little bit. Joshua's granddad says, despite Logan's error, a period of controlled rugby matched by solid defence meant this game was all over before half-time. Cass offered little apart from poor kicks to the corner, which was meat and drink to Ratu. Leeds at home next round. Don't think so.
Mark W said, Hull did the basics well, but also looked very beatable at times, but Cass just didn't have enough about them to take advantage, with too many basic errors. Logan with the no try of the year, ?
Yeah, it was an absolute beauty.
Even Emma was left questioning how on earth didn't he score that, and she barely pays a passing interest to some of these games. But it caught everyone's interest how terrible it was. I suppose the fact that Hull went on to win quite comfortably masked over that massively for young Jack Logan, because it was horrible, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, lucky for him. Yeah, it was like it was like something opened up in front of him, like a hole in the ground that nobody else could see, and down he went.
He must have been like playing in wet weather conditions when the pitch was bone dry. He must have thought it had been raining.
Oh God, yeah. It was an absolute beauty, but it helps if you win. People are much more forgiving. Where are we? So Paige says, great performance from the boys. They dug deep and pulled off a great win, despite the referee trying to get Castleford back in the game. Bring on Catalan in the next round. Ooh, there you go. Some little bit of psychicness going on there.
I think she maybe sent the review in after the draw.
Oh, all right. Sorry.
Rich Langley said, I feared that Jack Logan's bomb try, in brackets miss of the year, ? We've already covered that, it was. Would come back to haunt us, but my fears were unfounded once Jake had restored service. Another cup run is possibly on the cards, should we start getting our squad back to full strength. Cass also shorn of a couple of players, just didn't look up for this, and perhaps Darrell's move to Leeds for next season has unsettled the squad.
Rob's review title shop on eBay says plenty of great titles available online this week. Cup Kings beat runners up. Cast to focus on mid-table. Logan's Eden impression still show. The tag train runs riot. Hull pack to be charged with bullying. Cast looking forward to a big game a week late. Ratu and Beretta enjoy Cass snacks. Get 1% cash back on all orders with an additional 5% off your order value donated to purchasing some tackle bags for Cass.
Sarah Mackenzie, our old friend, our good friend Sarah, says, great across the pitch. Mickey P and Tag laid the foundation. Snide, Westy, Kelly and Connor did the magic in the first half, and then it was a solid defensive performance to see out the second half.
And finally on this one, Tom Andrews says, despite what Paige says in her review, deep down she's gutted. She's already declared to me that she's off to a massive Primax somewhere on Bank Holiday weekend. Sorry, Paige, let's hope you go out next round.
So, we've touched on the hilarity of Jack Logan.
A little bit on the hilarity of Matautia not adjusting his kicking range.
It's not just that's not the first time he's done that as well. It's not. I think he's becoming a bit of a Jared Samet for that issue there. So what else do we need to talk about from this one? Do we want to be talking about the performance of Jake Connor? I think he was outstanding in the game. He was making sure he was involved in everything, whether he had the ball in his hand or he was just chasing the ball down. I think he was involved in all the exciting stuff that Hull FC did.
Yeah, I mean, I've got him noted as my outstanding individual. I thought his first try was very incisive and probably the best individual moment of the match, I'd say.
Yeah, I just think he's a really talented and excited player, and when he puts his attention into that rather than descent like last week, then it's the way forward for him, because the more he's on the ball, the more Hull FC look like a dangerous team. I suppose a lot of the guys have pulled out. Taylor and Payer had really good games. Mickey Payer, one week people are sort of like scoffing at the idea that he's playing for a contract, and then the next week he seems to be up in his game, so expect a down performance from him next week. I also think Massi Matongo was very good in the second half. I think defensively in the stint after half time, I thought he was particularly strong, and so I think there's a lot of credit goes to him there for that, because I've wondered about his defensive decision making and his ability to stick to the task in defence and concentrate enough. And I think he showed me that he is really coming along in that regard in the second half, particularly in this game.
Yeah, I mean, my notes basically say that Hull FC were barely competent, but they were still they still had plenty in hand over Cass. I mean, I forget, I haven't got notes of the exact scores, but. And basically, other than Matautia kicking out on the fall, the score, it blew out, didn't it, during that period? Because they were in it, and
because
then
Cass kept gifting them field position with it being Matautia kicking out on the fall, or when it was other errors as well. Cass just kept gifting field position, and I've been questioning, haven't I, the last few weeks about Daryl Powell's antics of basically blaming injuries for everything on this losing run that they seem to have landed upon as April turned into May. And I think maybe that attitudinally has come home to roost with the players a little bit, because they had an excuse already, maybe they felt like, because they didn't put the shift in that you're used to seeing. You've seen the game where they won against Wakefield, they weren't at the best, and they weren't at their best in terms of personnel, let alone performance, but they grafted, they worked hard, and they worked for each other. When they came back against Wigan, again, they were undermanned to an extent, not that Wigan weren't, but they were undermanned, and they found a way, they found a resolve, and I just feel like this recent run with excuses being so easily blamed has given, with injuries being so easily blamed, has given these players an excuse to take a day off, and it's the wrong day off to take in a cup game, because you only get one chance.
I mean, there isn't a team in the league that isn't patched up somewhere or another, is there? Pretty much.
No.
So it's always a weak excuse, and I never want to. I'd never want to focus on that, because somebody, even if a person isn't missing, you don't know what injuries they're trying to cover, what they're kind of being needled up to get through games kind of stuff. So
yeah, like we always say on Super League Pod, you can't blame injuries before a game necessarily. Maybe in-game injuries you can call on, but injuries before a game. And in this game, they had Millington, Milner, Seni Lefeo and Cook as the bench, so they were pretty strong, you'd have to say, in the pack. They were maybe just missing... Well, they weren't missing much. They were maybe missing a winger or two.
I thought obviously he introduced Seni Lefeo quite late, didn't he? I wonder if he wasn't quite ready. Obviously he's had 3 weeks off, hasn't he? So I don't know whether match fitness was a concern.
To be honest, it's remarkable that he was back so fast. I thought after the injury he got on it was the Monday-Thursday game, weren't it, that he got his injury?
Yeah, because he separated his shoulder, didn't he? And he had to go to hospital to have it reset. So I mean, I'm no expert in terms of recovery for that kind of thing, but 2 to 3 weeks is pretty remarkable.
For Amo, probably his best performance this season, arguably. That's certainly what I've seen from him.
Yeah, I mean, it's not Leslie good, but it was pretty good. But yeah, no, he looked pretty good, and as I said, FC they had plenty in hand, but other than the kind of the Aston break at the end, which was really well taken, a bit of good speed off the mark and stuff,
great speed.
But yeah, other than that, they had them comfortably, didn't they?
Yeah, and that sort of left side, of attack for Hull is looking a bit more stable at the moment. Minicello, again, kind of similar to Payer, is 1 week good, 1 week bad, but this was his good week. Snide, Griffin, and Faremo, they seem to be getting a bit of a settled look to that left-hand side for Hull FC, so expect a more powerful displays from them going forward. Right, let's skip along to Wakefield, and it was Wakefield Trinity hosting the Widnes Vikings. It was 6-6 at half-time in this one between the Super League side and the Championship side, in front of 3,055. Gareth Hewer was the man in the middle, and one of his decisions actually did have a big bearing on this game, although I don't think it was necessarily him to blame for it. As Wakefield ran out to what looks like a comfortable scoreline of 26 points to 6, but actually the story of the game isn't quite told by that, because it wasn't until Jack Owens got himself sent off for dissent. He's got a grade D charge for that, after being unhappy with a touch judge call. I think he was unhappy with a touch judge calling a no try when he thought he should have had a try. But at that stage, the game was still definitely in the balance. I think the Trinity side had a try through Max Jowett in the first half, and Lloyd Roby levelled that one out for... No, actually, Lloyd Roby saw the Vikings take the lead, then Max Jowett equalled that out. David Feeta scored just after half-time, and at that time it was 12-6 to Trinity. But until the very closing stages, Widnes kept Trinity in check, but obviously playing with a man down for the last 15 minutes didn't help them, and Jones, Bishop, Kershaw and Horrowall scored in the last 6 minutes to give it that comfortable look on the scoreboard that it doesn't sound like it was for Trinity. So maybe they took Widnes lightly.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, I must confess I haven't even seen any highlights of this. So
I've just read a match report or two.
and to be fair, we haven't had any fan views in on it either. So, fan views really help, because otherwise, if we're not there, we don't know.
And but a game that one of us was there, so we do know.
Look at that segue. Look at that, beautiful.
Hey, it's like we've been doing this together for 18 months or so. Well, so game 3 of the week to talk about was the all-championship affair between the Dewsbury Rams and the Halifax... Not Blue Sox, say Blue Sox. The Halifax Blue Sox, in front of 1,207. Marcus Griffiths was the referee. Fax were 18-6 ahead at half-time, and they managed to pull that out to be 34-6 at full-time. So what did you make of this one? Because you were there, and no one else has told us anything about it.
No, it was. I thought it was a good game. As you'd expect, Fax were dominant. They were also dominant in the crowd figures as well. Really good travelling support from Halifax up at the Tetley Stadium. So well done to them for getting over there on a Friday night. Not the easiest thing to do.
A point on that, the away fans. I think, in a way, away fans maybe feel more... not more incentivized to go to cup games, but away fans maybe find it less of a drag or a drain, because like home fans might think, well, I've already paid for all my games that I want to go to, I'll just have this game off because I've paid for the season ticket, etc. Whereas away fans, you do pay a week or two only ahead of the game, or maybe on the gate at the game, more likely to anyway as a away fan. You can't get an away fan season ticket, for example, even though I think that would be a fantastic idea, but you can't. So yeah,
that should definitely go on the survey as an idea. But yeah, no, I reckon the crowd was about 50-50. There was plenty of noisy Fax fans there, which was really good. Particularly, there was one particularly noisy lady towards the front of the stand who was certainly making her opinions known to the officials and everyone within earshot.
Rugby League fan doesn't like referee, shocking.
Yeah, amazing. But yeah, I mean, the scoreline is entirely accurate about the balance of the game. Right. Halifax were very dominant down their right hand side. Butler doing his usual thing and crashing over a couple of times. I mean, obviously it was 18-6 at half time. Walshaw had scored for Dewsbury, kind of 5-10 minutes before half time and got it. It felt like it might swing around.